Hello friends, those back pages here. I hope you're well. Depending on when you're watching this, day one of this year's show will probably already be over. It's about to get going 2 weeks from pretty much this minute. And man, I am so excited for many, many different reasons. Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to a gentleman who's, I wouldn't say he's new on YouTube, but he's been around. Let's see, his first video was 5 months ago. He's been spitting some nice facts about the show and everything leading up to and involved in it. And his username is AK Endless Sports Cards. He's from Alaska. You know, he's a foot to the ground kind of production like myself. So go ahead and give him a look. It's definitely some thought-provoking stuff. He talks about the art of the bundle, which I really appreciate that phrase. But I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description of this episode. So, we've heard from PSA as far as on-site grading. You know my thoughts on grading. You know I love grading. You know I don't want to grade stuff myself that I have to put back into the mail system. Just too many. The stuff I want to submit, and I've got a healthy pile going. I don't want to risk putting in the mail system again. Most of it's numbered to 100 or less, and trying to replace them would be difficult, as this stuff tends to, as time goes by, this stuff that I want to submit tends to go into collections and disappear. So I'm not quite ready to show off that stack yet because it's not final, and we've only heard from PSA, and that was disappointing but not surprising, let's put it that way. That PSA is doing on-site grading for $150 a card, up to $2,500 in value, then it escalates from there. That's not for me. If it's for you, that's awesome, but it's not for me. I am way more comfortable in the $25 a card area. Again, it's not life or death or earth-shatteringly important, but the cards I would like to have graded. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the show itself and I guess some ramblings, but nothing that I don't know if I've shown this card off before, but this one I have. And the importance of having comfortable shoes, lits, blah blah blah. Now when you get there, if you're going this year, and they've added a whole new wing to the, depending on who you believe, it's going from 500,000 square feet to 800,000 square feet of showroom floor. Believe me, no matter how many times you've gone to the show before, it's like a punch to the face as soon as you get there. It's very overwhelming. You think you're ready, you think you're prepared, and then you walk in and boom, cards everywhere. So of course it's important to have a budget, it's important to have a plan, but to totally mangle a Mike Tyson quote, when you get punched in the face, it's not real till you get punched in the face or something like that. It's kind of like batting practice versus in-game, but you want to be prepared to see stuff you haven't seen before, see stuff you see that you didn't know you wanted till you see it. And that reminds me a little difference of the changing of the grading situation is back in the day, PSA would let you renew your membership and you would get vouchers towards grading your own cards. And I'm talking 10, 11, 12 years ago. You know, your average membership would get you 15 vouchers. And then you could use those 15 vouchers, or it might have been 12 vouchers, and you could use those 12 vouchers at the show and get your cards graded, 1-for-1. And then a couple years went on, and they, you know, you would get 12 vouchers, but you could only use 8 to do on-site at the show. You know, so they took that incentive a little away, and then they took it away altogether. But there was one year, and it was actually 10 years ago, that, funny enough, I was struggling to fill, you know, I had brought some cards with me, and like I had a couple of free slots for slabs. So I opened the VIP pack that came with the VIP package in 2013, and the Jets' first round pick that year was Geno Smith, and they had him in that VIP set. So I went ahead and threw this in my order. And you can see it there. 2013 Panini VIP Geno Smith 34th National promo. And it came back a Gem Mint 10. And you can see the difference in the flips from 10 years ago. But, you know, for the most part, it looks the same, except it doesn't have the hollow, the lighthouse, whatever they call that thing. But, yeah, I don't know if this is still a Pop 1 or whatever. I never really looked it up, but I can't imagine very many people who were VIPs that year went ahead and had this graded just for memory's sake. So yeah, got that Geno Smith. I just thought that was cool. I talked to my friends about that every once in a while, and I couldn't find it. I ran across when I was looking through some stuff. You know, looking through stuff to have it submitted at the show this year. Hopefully. Well, PSA is out, so it's up to CGC and SGC now to announce what they're going to do at the show. And it's been a long time, if ever. I can't remember SGC doing on-site grading, so we'll see what comes to that. You know, I don't really have any minis. I guess. You know, I cannot do CGC mini cards or mini size cards or non-traditional size cards because they might use the baggie. So I just can't do it. So I have the card there on the left, the Cobb, green Cobb. I have that there for a reason. Because this is a card that, as far as financial spending, is more than twice than the second most card that I messed that up. More than twice the cost of the second most I've ever spent on a card. I've got more cards. I've got other cards that are worth more, but as far as cost goes, this was the most I've ever spent on a card. It took me a while to find this, and pay for it, but it wasn't at the National. It was actually at the East Coast National in 2021. Probably the height of it, but the gentleman I bought this from does not sell on the internet. He doesn't do eBay, doesn't do auction houses. And his stuff is always top-notch quality for the assigned grade. This is the Sweet Cat back. You know, when it comes to the T206s, I'm not really super concerned about the back. Obviously, it means something. But the rarebacks means more money. And just owning something this old in the first place is good enough. So I happened to be at the 21 East Coast National walking around. I saw this gentleman who I've bought from for years. And I saw it in the showcase, and I knew I had to have it. And it took some haggling, a little bit of actually talking to JT on the phone about it. This is a big purchase. Yeah, I was happy to add that to the collection almost 2 years ago. And that goes under the discussion of finding something you don't necessarily think you're going to find. And that's a bit of an extreme example because it's not cheap. I think a better example, and this brings me back to the 2019 show. I was walking around and I saw this in the show. I think it was 19. I don't think it was 21. No, I think it was 19. But I saw this in the showcase, and I was walking to meet some friends. And when you're walking around the floor meeting friends, your head's on a swivel. You're going back and forth, looking left, looking right, showcases, seeing what you can see. Because, as the show goes on, and if you're there multiple days, dealer's inventory changes. So it's not like, what they have Wednesday, if they didn't, by Friday, they might have totally different things in their showcase. They're selling through product, they're putting out new product, they're actually buying product, stock, I guess is the better word for it. So they're selling through stock, they're repurchasing, they're buying from people on the floor, they're buying from other dealers, they're replenishing their stock. So you never know what you're going to see. So I happened to be walking by and I saw this. So saw this in the showcase and whoa, let me take a look at that. And it's the Pistol Pete rookie in a PSA 1. And it shows much better in photographs than even on YouTube, but I don't know if you can. It's got some creases. It's really difficult to describe. I mean, it is a tall boy. It is accurately graded. It's got some wavy there, but it presents really well. Let me see if I can. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Spider cross. But, this card is now 53 years old. And it's a tall boy, so those in the first place, in 1970, like, how are you going to store this thing? You've got these, you got the 65, 65 tops hockey, 65-6. You've got the 65 tops football with Namath in it. But anyway, so I saw this, and I think he had 125 on it. And I think I was able to talk him down to 100. Or 110, down to 100, something like that. Something that minuscule that I decided, I have to own this. Because this is the only copy of this rookie I have. And very happy to have it, I love green. Green is my favorite color. And that's green. Every once in a while with the modern stuff, I start looking at the green refractors, and for some reason, I just struggle to pull the trigger. There's for some, I guess some would say unfair reason, but there's a healthy bias against green refractors. Green prism, green whatever. They're associated with being a retail-only product. Some of them are numbered, some of them aren't numbered. They're all mixed matched, and I don't know. Maybe that's something I need to get over. But with the difficulty of finding the stuff that I'm trying to collect now, maybe, again, I think that's part of it. Like, I'm not finding the non-gem gold stuff. So then I just start, let me look at the green, where I should just stay focused, stay on target. But, it is what it is. So one final thing is I've got this, this is from the 21 show where I found some stuff. I found this wild card football matte. They gave these away. So I had 2 of them. So this is the Trevor Lawrence Mac Jones here. So I'm gonna open one for you guys. Let's see what it is. Lee Farley. Oh, Trey Lance. There you go. Micah Parsons. That's it. Trey Lance. Khalid Farley. I don't think these are numbered or anything. They're not bad condition. I mean, they're not. They're embossed. Premier. Interesting. They were giving these away free. I don't think they're numbered or anything, but there was the black matte and a white matte pack. So I figured I'd open that. You never know what you're gonna, you never know what you're gonna see at the National. You never know what you're gonna get at the National. Like I said, those are free. So we're hoping to hear in the next couple of days, I would think, because we're 2 weeks out now. Hoping to hear about on-site grading for CGC and SGC. I have just earlier today the email went out from PSA about the what used to be the luncheon, and last year was the cocktail hour. And I get it, things are, I guess, times are tough. But they said that, I got the email and I read it, and they're doing the hors d'oeuvres and, get award ceremonies that they normally do. And I'm sure they'll hand out some stuff, a book and maybe an acrylic stand. But unfortunately, it's a place that's like 12 miles away, like a half hour by car, according to Google Maps. And that's just no bueno. And it's from 7 to 10 on Friday night. That's like prime time real estate for time, with trade nights everywhere, and Tops Q&A, and I think it's either Thursday or Friday. I think Thursday we're having the YouTube get together Thursday night, and then I think Friday is the Flemington get together. I think at some point it all becomes a blur, but to have it a half hour away by car on a Friday night, I'm not going to be going. That's just too much. That's just too much to ask. I mean, you should have it on site. They've had it on site, ever since I started going to it 12 years ago. They've had it right there. I think even in Cleveland they have it on site. But it is what it is. Maybe, a friend of mine said maybe they waited too long to book. But here we are. And I'll probably pump out another episode. Get some news about these on-site gradings, and if I can get my if I can get my stack. Here's a sneak peek, but if I can get my stack finalized.